When Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger decided to cut millions from the state's in-home supportive services program, it was more than just a budget-related decision. At the time, the governor alleged there was massive fraud in the program. His contention was that there's probably more fraud in the IHSS program than any other in the state. So KPBS reporter Amita Sharma joins us now to discuss her investigation into the validity of those fraud accusations. How much of the, first of all, let's get a background. He said there's fraud, we're cutting the program. How much of the funding is supposed to be cut?
He's cutting $263 million from a $4 billion program that is only growing at this point.
Okay, so when we talk about that, explain first what in-home support services does so that we know, what we're dealing with here.
Okay, in-home supportive services is a government program that provides personal care for the elderly, the disabled, the blind, and this care can include cooking, cleaning them, helping them bathe, shopping for them, giving them medication. And the idea is to keep these people in their home, to take care of them in their home so they don't have to be institutionalized.
But some of these caregivers are family members, right? I mean, there are people who might be taking care of them anyway. So why should they get paid for it?
Well, the point is that some of these people require 24-hour care. One of the women I interviewed, she takes care of both her grandmother and her sister, her mother and her sister. Her sister is 40 years old and has the mental capacity of a 4-year-old. Her mother is 77. She has heart disease and she has diabetes and she needs a walker to move around. So she, her day isn't a 9-to-5 day, it's a 24-hour day. She can't hold a job outside the house in addition to taking care of them.
How much was she getting?
She is getting right now $1,500 a month. After deductions, that's about $900 a month. She is struggling to make ends meet right now.
All three of them would be living on the $900 a month?
Right, and I believe her mother receives a small amount from the state for Social Security, but it's a very small amount, and she is struggling to make ends meet. She is on the list to be wiped out in terms of losing all the support she gets from in-home supportive services.
Okay, so you did this investigation, and the governor's claiming fraud. Fraud, what? The wrong people are coming to the house, they're not coming to the house? What kind of fraud?
Well, he didn't exactly say, but I spoke to the Deputy District Attorney, Michael Grosh, and he heads the Economic Crimes Unit in San Diego, and he said that the potential for fraud within this system is great, and that is because most of the people who offer the care, who give the care, are friends and family of the recipients, and so the potential for collusion, the potential for abuse of the system is great. And so now that there are these new fraud controls that within the system that took effect yesterday, and these controls include requiring both the caregiver and the recipient to place their fingerprints on timesheets, that he expects the fraud numbers to go up. So he said the difference between what they believe is the fraud rate that they believe is in the system and what the actual prosecutions are is a wide gap at this point because they don't have those controls.
All right, so right at this point then, are you saying that there isn't as much fraud as the governor claims? Well,
we did a numbers check. There are currently 460,000 people statewide within in-home supportive services. From July 2005 through November 2008, there were 5,000 fraud complaints within the system, and 1,500 of those complaints were substantiated. That's a less than 5% fraud rate statewide.
How does that compare, let's say, to other programs?
There is a certain amount of fraud in every government program, but I want to get back to San Diego. Within San Diego, there are 25,000 people in this program. There were 42 complaints of fraud against IHSS last year and 14 prosecutions. And we checked with Ventura County, Los Angeles County, San Bernardino County, and San Luis Obispo County, and the fraud rate there was less than 1%.
Just briefly, when are the cuts supposed to go into effect?
The cuts are supposed to go into effect in November. There was a federal lawsuit filed yesterday to seek a halt to the cuts until a decision has been decided on whether these cuts actually violate the American with Disabilities Act.
Thank you very much, Amita Sharma.
Thank you, Gloria.